That's right. Okay, with a PH. So, this is 3 P's. 3 P's to a good season. All right, 3 P's to a good season. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, beginning in verse 9, it says this: 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. The first P, guys, is the people. The people, your teammates. Now, it's not just your teammates, because it includes your coaches, it includes your parents and your family that come and support you, and believe it or not, it even includes the officials. Okay? Because if you learn how to interact with officials properly, you'll get better results from the officials. Okay? So the official's your friend, not your enemy. You ought to make a friend out of them, not an enemy. That's why when they come here, we try to treat them nice. We try to feed them nice. Okay? Why? Because we want them to want to be here. So when we think about the people, you got to remember, now you've heard this, there's no I in team. But if you find a me in team, you have things backwards and out of order. So you need both for any team to be successful. You need producers and you need practicers. I was going to say practice dummies, but you're not dummies. Okay? You need producers, people who are going to be productive. But those people can't be productive if they don't have people to practice against. And so the people, especially your teammates, are important. You need to value them. Now listen, it may mean that all they do is provide you stiff competition at practice to get you ready for the games. But that's vitally important to preparation. Okay? And if you're young, you haven't done this before, get used to practicing a whole lot and watching a whole lot, but not getting in the game a whole lot. Okay? That's just part of the process. And so the people are important. That's the number one. The people are important. Listen, you need to learn cooperation and appreciation for each other. You need to learn to value each other. Even the people that the only thing they do on a given night is make sure that you have water during a timeout. That's valuable. Okay? And you need to value that. The collective effort will always produce more than individual effort. And since this is a team sport, the people that you play with, the people that you play before, the people that you play for, all mean something. Okay? Number 2, the process. Listen, I have learned this. I used to think that winning was the most important thing, but winning is not the most important thing. The process is the most important thing. And if you start to understand that concept, it will change the way you approach what you do. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to win. I mean, if I'm not supposed to win, then why are we keeping score? Okay? But the process is more important than winning or losing, because you know what? I've had teams that had an undefeated regular season and lost in the playoffs. And that stinks. Okay? Matter of fact, the first state championship soccer team that we had, the best team didn't win, but the team that played best on that day won. And that was us. And so it's not always the best team that wins. Matter of fact, I think there were a couple years where we should have won and we didn't win. But I'm not bitter about that. Okay? The process matters. What do I mean? Well, in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3 through 5, it says this, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth entangleth himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for the masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. The process matters. Number one, you got to prepare. That means practice. Practice hard. When you come to practice, dedicate yourself to working hard. Because you're not going to get better by loafing. So when you come to practice, have the right mindset and practice hard. Not hardly practice. Matter of fact, practices should be, and listen up, coaches, practices should be so hard that the games are nothing but fun. But if you're not coming to practice and practicing hard, then you get to the fourth quarter of the game and you can't catch your breath. When you're dogging, when you're running suicides, when you ought to be pushing yourself, you're going to cost your team something later on. So prepare properly by practicing hard. Avoid distractions. Girls are not the only ones that bring drama. Avoid distractions. Drama, conflict, failing classes. Those are distractions. They keep you from being able to focus on your primary mission, which is to play well together. Do what's required of you. Listen, I tell my Bible class the same thing. Your parents have lived longer than you have, so you ought to have a little bit of respect because they've learned how to survive better than you have. Okay? Your coaches have too. And so when your coaches are telling you to do something and you don't understand why, just do it. Sometimes you have to do it before you can understand it. And so do what's required of you. Follow instructions. They have a purpose. And you know what? If they tell you to do something and it fails, they're not going to blame you. They're going to blame themselves. So follow instructions. Here's another one. Play by the rules. Guys, it's not against the rules to foul. You get 5 of them. There are times to use them. You just got to learn what those times are. Okay? My oldest was the point guard on 3 state championship teams in a row. And I looked at her one time because she would always try, it was too aggressive in the mid-court. And it's like, chick, you ain't getting it. You don't do your team any good when you foul out. Don't foul in this part of the court. Don't foul if it's not necessary. Defense is about pressure. It's not about contact. If this were football, that'd be different. Defense is about pressure. So play by the rules. There's times to foul. If you've got them at the end of the game and you want to stop the clock and you're trying to, the coach is telling you got to get the ball back, that's the time to foul. Now, follow the rules. Work the processes so you'll see the growth. You know why? Because growth comes through struggles. Growth comes through struggles. The harder it is, the more you're going to grow as a result of it. And so don't be afraid of that. Embrace that. So we've got the people, we've got the process, and we've got the product. 2 Timothy 2:4, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Guys, the product is not simply whether you win on the scoreboard. The product is, are you pleasing the one who's chosen you? Now, ultimately, if you're saved, the Lord's chosen you. So are you playing in a way? Are you being a teammate in a way? Are you affecting the process in a way that you please him? And then, you know what else? You know who else chose you? The coach did. That's why you're on the roster. So the end result, this is really profound. I feel like Yogi Berra said this. The end result is not achieved until the end. Too many times, we put the emphasis way too early. The end result is not achieved till the end. Guess what? This is the beginning of the season. So your team is not going to be judged on the beginning of the season. You're going to be judged on the end of the season. Your season is not going to be determined to be a success or a failure at the beginning of the season. It's going to be the end of the season. And so the product is about working to please the one who chose you. The Lord, the coach. The best team doesn't always win. There's been plenty of times when I felt like we had a better team and we didn't win. You know why? Because they forgot about the people and they didn't respect the process. They didn't do it. They got selfish. They forgot the first two P's. How you finish means more than how you start. Okay? So strive to become a finisher. Get in shape. If you can still outrun your opponent in the fourth quarter, now you know you're getting there. 3 P's. People, process, product. That's what you need to focus on. Everything else is extraneous. Everything else is in addition to. Those things are going to be what determines. And you know what? There might be a team on the floor tonight that will play for a championship. But there might be a team on the floor tonight that doesn't get out of the region tournament. We're still one team. We're still supporting each other. So what you need to do is get it clear in your mind. If your goal was to get in the team picture, well, we'll have pictures soon and that'll be over. Congratulations. But if your goal was to become the best player you could be, then value the people that you play with and for, respect the process, work hard. Hard work never killed anybody. And then finally, focus on the product. The product is at the end, not at the beginning. All right? Stand up, gather together. We're going to have a word of prayer, and then we're going to introduce our varsity girls. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. I feel like I'm at Upwards at Northside. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. In. Touch somebody. Touch somebody. In a good way. All right? Zach, that's me. On your head. All right, let's pray.